Ark Survival Ascended. After playing this for thousands of hours, it would be pretty easy to get to level 50 and tame a Rex over level 100, right? Well, normally you'd be right, but in this one, there's a bit of a catch. No. Oh, no. I'm going to be teleported every 15 minutes to a random spot on the island. Because I'm a sucker for punishment, I let my friends and fellow content creators, Nikki Penelope Plays and Skelly, pick out 30 predefined locations for me, so I had no idea where I'd be teleported to. Welcome peeps to my teleporting nightmare. We started out in the easy south zone collecting seashells, and that's when I found out they were just rocks. It turns out rocks are really good at breaking other rocks, so I used them to get myself some flint, and somehow flint makes an even better axe. And then I started using that to begin causing deforestation. I then found myself some sustainably sourced threads out of the local plant life. My feet were getting a little cold, so I quickly let go of my harmless lifestyle and found the nearest dodo to pound into the best shoe shape possible. Reaching level 9 meant it was time to make some boulders and a club. The Ark God smiled upon me and quickly showed me a 145 parasaur that I bonked on the head with a club until it went 99. Yes! I threw all the mejo berries I had in it and started collecting more to feed it. I quickly distracted myself with the idea of building a super cool cubby house out of sticks and palm fronds so I could place a bed inside and respawn if needed. By the time I managed to get the house built, I was somehow surprised when the first teleport struck. Oh no. Oh my god. Okay. That's actually not too bad, considering. I'd been thrust over to Green Obelisk and was no longer near my parasaur tame, or my base. At least I'd managed to arm myself with spears and boulders. I honestly found myself a little unsure how to proceed. The time it would take to build myself a new base would just mean I'd get teleported away from it again. I decided to leave Green Obelisk and make my way back down the river to the south again, though not before making myself a bow and some arrows. It didn't take long before coming to face with a danger noodle. Ah, crap. And I was surprised I managed to take it down easily enough. I got it! Yes! Before I'd even made it out of Green Obelisk, I found a raptor seemingly alone and wondered to myself if I could knock it out with a club. No! Oh crap. Turns out it can't be done in one bowler, and I very narrowly escaped death while trying to bowler it again. Oh! I thought I had it down this time, but it turns out swinging a club with 0 stamina is not a good idea. Damn it! The raptor got loose before I woke up, but ran away rather than ate me due to its high torpor. I must have had it pretty close. When I woke up, I was left with no water, no stamina, and little health left. But I was miraculously alive, though I would have preferred the raptor killed me. I wasn't sure chasing it around the forest was a bright idea, so I turned around to head towards the river. After following several raptors around and hoping to bowler one, I was finally snuck up on by one and died. Damn it, no! I was happy to be back in the south, but I had no idea how long had passed and I'd lost all my stuff. It was back to making new gear for me. When back at base, I noticed my parasaur was draining food and I realized I'd never topped up the berries before teleporting away because I got distracted. So I started gathering some more to feed it. Turns out this was when my next 15 minutes were up and I was sent far away into the snow biome. No! I decided ice hopping was my best way to escape to the south, and I somehow made it back through all the danger without anything noticing me. I got to work making a raft and thought it would be a good way to get further south where I can find less danger. It didn't take long though before I noticed my parasaur's torpor had fully drained and would have woken up. No, parasaur. I'm so sorry. With a raft under me, it was time to set sail and plunder the lands. I found a parasaur not long into the journey and stopped to steal its baby and kept its hide for more gear I needed. Turns out I wasn't tracking time very well, as while I was trying to get the parasaur on the raft, the next teleport hit. No. Oh no. I was back in the snow biome, though this time even further away, and I was freezing cold. I tried to make it back the same way I went last time, but the cold had claimed me well before I'd had a chance to get off the ice. With several respawn points to choose from, I decided to stay with the raft, as I had a parasaur raising up this time, so I got to work replacing my gear. Again. With some basic gear re-obtained, I went to head south yet again. From there, we found a good area with lots of wildlife, and I set to work rebuilding. Eventually, I noticed another low-level parasaur nearby and thought it would be a good idea to tame it faster, as I likely wouldn't have had the other one raised in time before I got teleported again. By the time the next teleport hit, I'd managed to tame it up and saddle it, and I even had a decent amount of gear on me, so I felt a lot more confident this time. Though, it really depended on where I got teleported. No! Oh god. The arc gods must have been shining on me, as this time I'd managed to land in an area by Red Obelisk and was surprisingly close to where I'd left the raft. I cautiously made my way back, keeping an eye out for raptor packs along the way to avoid them. When I'd made it back, I collected some meat and hide off of some unfortunate dodos and set to work collecting narco berries, so I could work towards trank arrows. I spent the rest of the time between teleports stocking up my new mortar and pestle and making the refining forge so I could get myself a metal pick. Another teleport hit us not long after we made the forge and thrusted us back down to the south. Oh no. Oh. We were nowhere near our raft and reasonably far from our starter base, though it made sense to head that direction. I was lucky for two reasons. One, I had yet again been riding my parasol when the teleport hit, and two, I'd been smart enough to grab some narcotic out of the mortar while I was stocking it up. With the journey ahead of us, I had our next goal in mind. I wanted to get our next tame. A raptor seemed the logical choice. It didn't actually take that long before we found one that had been separated from its pack while they were chasing around everything in the area. With a quick bowler and a few trank arrows to the face, it was nighty-night for the raptor. Yes! It wasn't the greatest level, but it was faster and more nimble to get around on, which made it a much better tame. I set my parasol to follow and continued the journey back along the south coast. I wasn't sure how long we had left, but I'd managed to make it back to the starter base where I'd left the parasol for safekeeping while we got whisked away across the arc. As it turns out, it really wasn't that long at all. Oh no! No, not that timing! Lucky for me, I'd been teleported to a spot I'd been to before, and it was the one near Red Obelisk. I hadn't been on my tames this time, but I was fairly confident I could make it back. Though, a stray Troodon I didn't see in the darkness seemed to call its buddies on me, and I was slaughtered. I saw an opportunity to use my time smart, so I decided to spawn back on the raft and take it back over to my bob shack with the second parasol on board. As I was passing by where I just died, I realized it was kind of close to the coast, so I decided to try and retrieve my stuff, which went surprisingly okay as the Troodons had seemed to move on or despawn or something. Home sweet home. With my stuff back, I had a smooth journey back and managed to restock some items before the next round hit. Oh. Where the hell am I? Herbivore Island. Right. Being on Herbivore Island was safe enough, but presented us with the challenge of getting back home. I was tempted to swim the raptor across, but I didn't really want to risk it, so I made another raft and headed back to the mainland in a safe way. With rafts being a little slow, I decided to ditch it and continue on the raptor, as I was worried I'd burn the full 15 minutes just in travel. With that still being an issue anyway, I decided as we got closer to try and knock out a few extra raptors I encountered to see if we could get anything better. One of them actually ended up being a 145, so I was stoked when we finally got a decent mount knocked out. Yes. Really annoyingly though, oh no, that was so close. I was teleported away before the raptor woke up. This time I was across the other side of the redwoods and I had a long journey if I wanted to make it back to base on time. I had to cross a bit of swamp and I was grateful there were no capros anywhere along the way, though there were several sarcos and Deinosuchus. I managed to pass my base, but rather than stop, I decided it was time for me to make a spyglass. So I kept going to the mountain I knew crystal could be found on. I managed to get enough, but after becoming encumbered, I was ambushed by two raptors. Oh no. Oh no. Being that my raptor was only a low level, a pack boosted pair was way more than I could handle. So I dropped what I could and escaped down the mountain, though I almost lost my raptor in the process. Oh, not good. After getting the spyglass, I'd somehow made it back to the other raptor and quickly swapped over my saddle from mine onto it, as I knew I had to be running short on time. I decided to see how a raptor pack would perform, so I called in the others and went after a nearby trike. Turns out while we were doing it though, I was correct about the time I had left. Oh! Where am I? No! No. Really? My lovely friends had decided the hard snow cave was a nice addition to the teleport list. Thanks guys! Luckily for me, the raptor was nimble enough and we got out of there before anything could catch us. After escaping the cave, I had come into the open, which was absolute chaos. I sprinted across the ice to try and get out of the snow biome before I froze and lost my raptor. As I was swimming across, I spotted a Barry, which would have meant death if it had caught me in the water. Luckily, I spotted it in time though, and we went around. Given I can't help myself with baryonyx, I decided to try and knock it out and tame it. Though it seemed to take more shots than I had on me, and it was faster than my raptor, so I had to make a quick getaway and give up on the baryonyx dream. I decided to put my time into heading south, and was smart and figured I should craft some dino balls in case I quickly tamed something along the way that I wanted to take with me. I also decided it would be a good use of time to try and make a new mortar and pestle to see if I can make a few trank arrows to use. After making 4 more trank arrows, I decided I didn't want to waste any more time collecting berries by hand, so I moved south again. Along the way, I quickly spotted a pteranodon, which was actually something I was desperately starting to want. What level are you? 95. 1 bowler and 2 shots to the face later, the pteranodon went down. Unfortunately, I didn't have any prime meat, so I left some normal meat on there and then decided I would need to move on before I ran out of time. It was either going to tame on regular meat or wake up, but I really couldn't do anything about it. As I was making my way south, the next teleport round hit me, catching me by complete surprise. Oh, no. This time, it sent me much closer to Green Obelisk, which I was grateful for. I decided to try and use this time to prep for a pteranodon saddle by collecting chitin and any other materials I needed. There really wasn't much interesting that happened along the way, other than the raptor really proving itself quite capable of taking down other raptor packs. I had a swamp crossing to make this time, and I was in areas I knew you could find microraptors, so I was praying the whole time I didn't run into anything that would ruin my day. Turns out I didn't. I spotted a Rex on the way back to base, so I figured I would check its level, seeing as we were getting close to wanting to tame one. Finally. Too bad it was a terrible level. Seeing as I was passing through, I decided to try and collect my other raptors and bring them along as I headed towards base. Though I didn't have them for long when the next teleport got me. In hindsight, I probably should have put them into the dino balls. Oh, okay. Oh crap, swamp again. This time I was in the swamp, though a lot closer to the base this time. As I got my bearings, I realized the pteranodon had woken up, so I knew I had to go for a new one now, and hopefully I could get one much closer to base. It was mostly an uneventful trip towards base, other than a pego stealing the chitin I really needed. Need that. When I got near base though and started looking for a pteranodon, I had a death message pop up. My spare parasaur had been killed on my raft. I went and got my revenge on the dillo, then quickly made some more trank arrows. With a few more on me, I went back to looking for a pteranodon while I still had plenty of time up my sleeve. It didn't take long before I spotted one, and I was extremely happy to find it was a 135. When it finally landed, a quick bowler and a few arrows to the face sent it to nighty-night land. And down. And I went off to make sure I had prime meat to feed it this time. Once I had it stocked up with meat, I sat around waiting for it to tame. Turns out though... Oh. Uh-oh. I didn't have enough time to let it tame up. Luckily, I'd landed in a spot I'd already been to twice. What are the odds of that? And it was in a pretty safe area, so I used my time to get back to the pteranodon. I made it back with plenty of time before the pteranodon woke up, so I went to work making more narcotic and gathering more hide. The pteranodon woke up not long after, and I sprinted towards it to place a saddle on it and take it to the skies. I picked up my raptor and jumped on the pteranodon to feel the freedom I'd finally earned. Not long after taking to the sky, I had a level up and I was happy to see I'd reached level 50, so my first goal was checked off the list. Yes, level 50. I knew I couldn't have too long left, so I decided my first goal would be to pick up my raptors I'd left on the south coast. I went looking for Rexes after that, but there wasn't long before the next teleport round. Oh, where am I? This time I'd landed in the central western coast and reasonably safe area. I'd counted my blessings as I've been pretty lucky so far with most of my teleports. Having the pteranodon was perfect now. I could continue my Rex searching straight away. Early into my search, I had a brief panic moment running out of stamina over a dangerous area, but luck was on my side again as there was no dangers around. I wasn't having much luck finding any Rexes at all, but one thing I made sure I was doing was grabbing Explorer notes as I found them so I could keep leveling up my pteranodon stamina and keep them in the air longer between stamina breaks. I knew for sure there had to be some in the northeastern corner of the map, or even Carnivore Island, so that was the direction I was heading. When I finally spotted one, I was disappointed to see it was only a level 20. Not far behind it was a yellow drop with a ring, so I thought I might try my luck and see what we could find in there. It paid off as I managed to get a pair of 364 armor flak pants, which was a huge boost from the hide I was wearing. After continuing my search along the river and mountainside, I spotted another Rex. Yes! A 145 female was sitting in what I thought was one of the best locations I could have asked for. I quickly swapped out to my raptor and put my pteranodon away for safekeeping. I knew it was going to be a lot of arrows out of a standard crossbow, but I figured it would have taken me longer to get a long neck and darts between teleports anyway. With the raptor being as nimble as it was, I had an easy time of shooting the Rex and staying out of its jaws. After a lot of shots fired, the next teleport finally got me. Oh, no, 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 no. Shit, where am I? I'd been dropped in the swamp near my bob shack again, and I never thought I'd be so grateful as to be thrown into the swamp. I was itching to head straight back to the Rex, but my smarts made me realize my crossbow was half broken and I was running short on arrows. It was too good an opportunity being so close to base to not repair and restock. I was out of metal, but a few quick hits of some river rocks nearby gave me everything I needed, and I was back in flight towards the Rex before long. On my way back, I managed to find another yellow drop with a ring which had an ascendant pair of flak pants and a pair of journeyman gloves. I was stoked. When we got back, I swapped to my raptor again and continued turning the Rex into a pincushion. Yes! This time the Rex went 99 and I was thrilled. All I had to do was get food on it and survive long enough for it to wake up. While I was editing, I noticed that not long after the Rex was knocked out and I was clearing the air of bad things to keep the Rex safe, I should have been teleported, but it didn't seem to work this time and I didn't even seem to notice. Though it did feel like it had been a long time between teleports. Once I'd cleared the area, I sat still and simply waited for the next teleport to hit. When it finally did, the Rex was 50% tamed and I was thrown somewhere that had me clenched. Oh. Okay. Oh, right on the edge. Are you kidding me? The lava cave of all places. You know what? This would have been handy early on if I needed crystal, that's for sure. After getting my bearings, I was thankful to realize I was only in the entrance to the lava cave, not further in like I had imagined. I exited the cave and quickly made my way back up the coast to get nearby the Rex. While I had time to kill, I decided to collect some explorer notes and loot crates from Kano Island and nearby locations. I was pretty happy that one of the loot crates actually contained a raptor saddle. At this point, I noticed the Rex had started taming slower, so I figured the prime meat had spoiled. I quickly found a Kano with a baby and tried to take it on. This got a little hairy when I hit the water. Turns out the riderless Pteranodon wasn't good enough to take it on and it bled out before my eyes and left me facing the Kano alone. I quickly threw out my raptor and killed it easily enough, but then... Oh no, 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 no. Oh no, 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 not here again. Bro. I don't have the Pteranodon this time. I was thrust back to the hard snow cave again, and we had a fresh round of panic as history repeated itself. It was a long journey this time, and the most dangerous part seemed to be the cold that stayed with me most of the journey, but thankfully I resisted it enough not to die. After making my way back across the map, I'd returned to the Rex again, though I had no idea how long it had taken me to get there. I was thrilled to find the Rex awake, and I'd managed to beat my second and last goal of the challenge. I threw my Rex at a few dinos for fun, but that marked the end of my journey. Well, one last teleport got me and threw me to the redwoods at least. I hope you guys enjoyed my suffering. I know I certainly did. Consider dropping a like if you survived this long, and subscribe if you don't know what's good for you. I hope you all enjoy whatever you're doing, whatever time zone it is, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Bye bye for now.